What is normal?
Have you paused to consider that?
Have you been hesitant to make any commitments?
Considering that what you have known to be normal has completely changed.
What if your hesitation is actually a blessing?
What if your hesitation is an invitation to pause and allow Spirit to guide you into right action?
What would that look like?
What would that feel like?
Blessitation is a word that talks about the blessing that can be in the hesitation of making your decision of what to do next. By the way, my name's Maddie Suarez. I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center. This is Monty's topic today. It's on blessitation, or around that, and it's a made-up word, and it talks about the blessing potentially in the pause, the blessing in the hesitation, in the moment that you might take to think about something, or maybe you don't know what to do, and so you're taking a moment. And it's that time when you can call upon the divine, call upon the universe to give you some information, to give you some direction. If I take that moment to pause and hesitate, then maybe I can sit down and hear the blessing, and it gives me the answer, and I maybe make a better choice because I've had that moment. I'm leading a workshop on the 24th of April where it is about visual prayer. And we're going to do some really fun stuff. We're going to start out with a meditation to pause and stop and listen to our inner wisdom. And then we're going to do some actual drawing. And don't worry, you don't have to be a professional artist. You can do it. Anyone can do it. We're just going to have some fun, and everybody is welcome to join us. We're on Zoom, so you can join us from anywhere that you would like. So I really hope that you join us. It's going to be super duper fun. So thank you so much for listening today. I hope you enjoy this service and have a blessed day.
Hello, Reverend Amani Malaika here. Just a reminder of how easy it is to give and contribute to the work we're doing here at the center. Love in action, transforming lives, transforming communities. Text to give is easy. Find the instructions on the screen, and thank you for your gifts.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart. You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of
the face of
I'm going to tell you a story about shoes. So along this last year, as we have pivoted and began creating what we do in ministry entirely online, I made a great discovery. I discovered along the way, I don't have to wear real shoes because y'all can't see my feet. Ha ha! So I have been in sweater boots and gardening clogs all year. Every sermon, every video, regardless of what I had on top, I was in some sweater boots pretty much all year once I discovered the blessing of not having my feet on camera. And along the way, I realized I have gotten really comfy and cozy in those sweater boots, in those garden clogs, and I found myself in this odd state of hesitation and discomfort at the thought of having to now go back out into the world. Because I've been in sweater boots and clogs for a year. And what has been hilarious is I actually had to go get some prayer as I went to my first in-person outdoor meeting recently. I was on the phone with my prayer partner and I said, I have to go to this meeting and I don't even know where my shoes are. I can't even wrap my head around what a meeting outfit is anymore. This is so weird. So yeah, I got some prayer for shoes as I have moved in the reopening and reentry in my own life. But what I noticed in myself in this experience was how strange it felt. How just weird in my own being. I was nearly pouty about going back out and having to go to these in-person meetings and activities because I've really, truly relished being home with my family during this year. It's been, for me, it has been something I will be grateful for a long time. The time I have gotten with my family and with my son, these sweet, sweet moments that I would have missed had I not been working from home. So yeah, as I've, started making my way back into these in-person things, and I was feeling pouty, and I was feeling unsure. I was feeling doubt about whether or not I even wanted to. But I was also feeling like, I'm gonna go see what's in my closet because it's gonna be fun to rediscover what's there that I have not put on for a very long time. And I know you know what I mean. I know many of you know what I mean. And all of these feelings were happening at the same time. And I want to share the term Blessitation with you, coined by Reverend Daryl Jones of the online ministry Soul Gym. I'm defining Blessitation as a paradoxical state when we find ourselves filled with excitement and anticipation and hesitation and trepidation. This has exactly been my experience recently. And I love this word, Blessitation, because it describes really the paradox of the spiritual journey itself, where we are often holding these feelings of like, I don't know, this is the unknown. I have never been here before. And I'm kind of excited, and I'm also not sure. I'm also, I don't even know if I want to move into this mystery. I don't know if I like the unknown. And yet, what we know about God, what we know about the divine, is that it is in all places, at all times, never missing. Which means blessing is all up in it all, in that great paradox. And maybe it's the paradox itself that is the blessing. Pema Chodron, from her book, When Things Fall Apart, says, When things fall apart and we're on the verge of we know not what, the test of each of us is to stay on the brink and not concretize. The spiritual journey is not about heaven and finally getting to a place that's really swell. I think we almost have an addiction in our culture of seeking that place that's really swell, where our idea of all is well means there is no discomfort there. There is no insecurity or doubt there. And we are often on a race to get to this place where all is well, and it's going to stay that way forever. And yet, take a moment and think about what life has actually been like ever. Has there ever been a moment where we get to stay forever? And how do we allow the blessings in if we are taking the shape of concrete, impermeable? My friends, what if we gave up the habit of the destination? What if we gave up the habit of getting to the end of the rainbow? What if we gave up the habit of a false sense of security? And what if we welcomed hesitation, doubt, the unknown, the great mystery? Ours is a panentheistic teaching, which means God is in all places, in all things, in all times, seen and beyond our understanding. The great mystery. And when we say yes to spiritual living, when we say yes to the one and recognizing and realizing and unifying ourselves with that one, we are also saying yes to the mystery. We are saying yes to the unknown. And we get to look for God. We get to look for the blessings themselves in the doubt, in the hesitation, in the Blessitation. Thank you, Reverend Darrell. Because here's the thing about hesitation that I really love. And I believe it's been a gift we've been given over and over again for much of the last year. The hesitation forces us to pause. And rather than seeing that hesitation or that moment of doubt as a problem, what if we saw it as a blessing to meet our knowing? What if we saw that, wait a minute, I don't know if I'm ready, as a moment to go, let me go within in this very pause, and let me see what Spirit's got for me. What divine intelligence wants me to know in this moment of just before I move. The blessing of connection with what we know that we know that we know waits for us in that moment of hesitation. And if we so choose to use that pause, to use that doubt and that hesitation as a blessitation, we then are gifted with a divine knowing that moves us in loving action, that absolutely fills us with conviction around our next step. So rather than the resistance, which, we like to resist. I think it's part of the fun of life. Like, we just sort of like the drama of the pout. And I don't know, and I don't want to go to the meeting, and I'm happy in my cozy shoes and my sweats and my cute top. I don't want it to change. Wow, really? Really? We're going to continue to argue with life itself when we know the one thing about life for sure is change? We are going to sit around pretending that there is some end of the rainbow where nothing is ever going to change again? Really? Is that why we're on a spiritual path? Because we will be sorely disappointed by the path. And yet, if we choose to remember that God is always for us, life is for us, change is for us, and that we can consciously move into all of the unknown, all of the blessitations, gifted by the unknown, gifted by the capacity we actually have to connect with the one that knows, that always knows. God is not confused. God is not in doubt. God is in the moment of doubt so that we may move into deeper conviction, deeper wisdom, divine intelligence that lives right in here. That is a blessing, my darlings. I want you to take a moment right now and think of a time in your life where you waited, where you practiced a little restraint, maybe because you were doubting or unsure, but because you took that pause, because you listened to the wisdom of your emotion, you had a better idea. You made a different choice. You paused long enough to go, oh, I really do want to go to this meeting. And I'm going to take some time before I go to ground into what is true about this next step, so that I can show up as the love that I am with deep conviction. Or when you thought you were going to do a thing, you thought you were going to take that job or say yes to that relationship, and you allowed the hesitation to pause you, and you had a greater awareness and realized, no, that is actually not the step I'm going to take. I'm actually not going to say yes to this because that is actually not quite in alignment with the truth of who I am. What a blessing. What a blessing these moments of pause are. And one of my deep, great, huge, giant prayers for each of us and for us collectively is that we consciously move forward in this time of reentry, in this time of reopening. We move forward because we've taken the invitation from Spirit this last year to pause, to slow, to realign with what matters. That we take with us into this reentry and this reopening the greater awareness we have about the realities of life itself, the realities of our family living on the margins, all the places that we can no longer be in denial, all the places we can no longer be ignorant, that we have been forcibly, some of us, awakened to. My prayer is that we take all of that information, all of that recalibration we've been invited into this last year, and that is what we re-enter with. Recognizing that if you are not feeling hesitation, if you are not feeling a pause as we re-enter, you may not be paying attention. Because it is in that blessitation that Spirit itself is saying, whoa, Nellie, Be sure. Be convicted as you move forward. We know more now. We recognize each other more now. We know more now about the injustices that many of our beloveds are living with. We know more now about the violence perpetuated by toxic capitalism and consumerism that keeps us in numb minds. We should be hesitating. We should be experiencing unsureness and discomfort as we move into the world again. We know too much now. We are aware of more now. So I invite you in to the discomfort. I invite you in to that hesitation and allow the pause that it offers so that you can move in the world from a place of choice, choosing who you are going to be in this holy, holy moment on the planet. Choosing who you will be because you have learned and you've accepted the invitation to the great awakening that we've been given this last year. And it makes sense that our legs are a little shaky. It makes sense that we're unsure of what comes next. We know not what, Pema Chodron says. But may we remain on the brink. May we remain open and permeable and willing to be with the doubt, to be with the hesitation, to allow that very doubt and that very hesitation to unnumb our consciousness, to make conscious what has been unconscious for some of us our whole lives. Because it is in that consciousness that we get to step into and claim our place as divinely ordained agents of change. We are each called right now. We are each called to show up in our holy wholeness, deeply convicted about what is true. And that's what's going to enliven us with the power and the capacity to show up to all that we don't know. To show up wildly in faith, wildly convicted as the one in our own unique, perfect ways, in our own unique locations, bringing more love, bringing more truth, being willing to shine a light on what must continue to fall, no matter how uncomfortable it is. Spiritual transformation is not comfortable. It is not sure. It is about being absolutely present to what is. And welcoming those moments that say, oh, wait a minute. Whew, this feels like a lot. Let me go within. Let me go to that place that knows that it knows that it knows, so that I can choose how to take this next step, which way to take this next step. What a holy, holy blessitation it is when we bring our full presence to what actually is happening and allow that to invite us back again and again. Because what I know for sure is we do not have to walk numb in this reentry. We do not have to bring with us into this next step all of the unconscious, inherited BS of the past. We get to be made new by this blessitation. We get to show up more fully alive with the Spirit, making all the difference. What a glorious invitation. And the thing that we get to remember is that we get to choose and pause and choose again and pause, experience doubt and shaky legs and choose again, because we are living in the grace of God, and we will always be gifted with the present moment, whatever that moment may be. And we will never run out of choices. We will never run out of the opportunity to grow our consciousness and awareness that will then require us to make a new choice. And we can't really screw it up. That's how good God is. Choosing again is unlimited for all of us. Doesn't matter what we chose 5 minutes ago. We can choose something else now. Doesn't matter how much we used to choose to numb ourselves. We can choose to be alive now. Doesn't matter how much we chose to spiritually bypass and be in denial and to rest in the comfort of our privilege. We can choose again and again and again. It is our holy birthright as agents of change. It is our divine appointment with this very life itself. It is calling us to choose and get more conscious and get more aware and make some new choices and reform our word in prayer over and over and over, right where we are, in whatever ways that shows up in our very lives. Whether we are in doubt about shoes or whether we are in doubt about how we feel about racial injustice. May we be gifted by all of it. May we choose to experience all of the unknown and the shaky grounds as a blessitation. So when we say yes to that choice, we can be encouraged and we can be held in grace. And I want to share these words from the Hebrew Bible, Psalms 46. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High dwells. God is within her. She will not fall. God will help her at every break of day. So what I want to invite you to is to be held by this knowing that God is in you. God's got you. So as you open your eyes wider, open your heart greater, say yes to the holy blessitation, I want you to identify a place in your life right now where you're feeling doubt, where you're feeling hesitation. And I want you to take with you the knowing that you know that you know that you know God is there. And this week at the center, we are in the midst of our 30 days of prayer, and we are focusing on visual forms of prayer. So take that doubt, take that hesitation into the quiet, and allow the God that is in you, the divine intelligence that is in you, to show you what is that next right loving step. I am already knowing this for you. And Krista Keller, a licensed spiritual practitioner here at our center, says, for you are the vehicle in which the creative forces may be expressed through. And you are the expression that moves through the vehicle. You are both in one. So remember that you are divinely ordained as the one, and that God shows up right where you are, in you and as you and through you. And join me as we anchor this in prayer. What I know is that there is only one, and this absolute wholeness, this absolute holy force for good that I call God is moving in me right now, is moving in you right now, and is moving as you, through you, as you choose to take your place, your birthright as an agent of change. As you choose to be empowered by the holy blessitation of all that we are, paradoxical in the experience and blessed by it. So that I know that every time we choose to pause, every time we choose to acknowledge the wisdom of our emotional experience that may look like doubt and fear, we do not get stuck there. We allow it to invite us into deeper knowing and conviction as we then make our next right loving action. And because we say yes to spiritual living, I know that each and every one of us is doing this right now. Each and every one of us is moving in our lives and in our very locations, making all the difference. Because that's how good God is. I am so grateful to be on this planet with you in this moment in time as we each awaken and say yes and step with conviction as absolutely divinely ordained agents of change. How good it is. Amen. And so it is.